Are you following At Your Morning on Instagram yet? Or are you following us on Facebook?
You should be.
We should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're talking social media. Many of us are used to seeing ads when we engage on social media, but would you be willing to pay for a version without ads? Priya, Kelsey, good morning. What do you think about this?
Go for it, Priya.
All right. You know what? I have to say, I don't mind the ads. I'm so used to them. They don't bother me anymore. And you know what? Sometimes I like them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you're looking for something, like let's just say a blender, and then an ad pops up, and you're like, oh, that's the same blender I was looking at earlier, but it's cheaper.
Well,
There you go.
because of cookies, but it's also because everyone's listening to your phone, and it's the conspiracy thing.
Yeah.
The government's listening, right?
Well, it's actually the algorithm of these social media sites.
Right.
You probably wonder, how can we actually use Facebook and Instagram for free? Well, it's because they're allowed to use an algorithm. They data mine what we like, what we're posting,
Right.
what our interests are, and then we find those ads target exactly what we're looking for. So this is how those companies make money. However, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg recently said the social media site needed to use an advertising-supported business model to support itself, like I just explained. But not everyone would be able to use Facebook if it charged a fee. But there are some social media sites doing the opposite, where you won't have to worry about ads, but you have to pay for them. Kels, is this something you would do?
I mean, I don't really care about the ads. I don't like them in Insta Story. That kind of bugs me a little bit. I don't really know why, but I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But you were mentioning the idea of like reducing anxiety with these social media sites, and that piqued my interest because I definitely noticed a correlation between how high my anxiety is and how often I'm checking my social media.
Interesting.
So I'd be interested to know more about that.
Well, let's talk about like the Facebook alternative, that as it's so deemed. It's called Vero, and we found this online, and it's deemed the anti-Facebook. It's a 3-year-old social media platform that launched 3 years ago, and Vero has burst into the internet with a social network sitting in the top position on Apple's iTunes store, ranking in free apps. This was back in February of this year. Already, they have nearly 1 million registered users, and what they do is that they use an ad-free and algorithm-free model, and it's promised not to data mine user content or information. That's led observers to dub it the anti-Facebook. So essentially, you can turn your followers on or off, so you don't have to worry about how many friends you have on here or how many followers you have. And essentially, it's free right now. But here's the hook. They're only giving it to free for the first 1 million users. After that, people will have to pay for it. So it's almost like they're trying to entice people to get onto the social media platform, because that's one of the things that make Facebook, Instagram so popular, because all your friends are there. So you can connect with them. Speaking of Instagram, we found another one called Visco. This is like the Instagram alternative. However, you have to pay $20 for it. And this one is really resonating with, they call them Generation Z. So they're the ones who were born after 2000, essentially. But what we're finding here is that already they've surpassed 1 million users. It launched last year, and they've done away with metrics like we were talking about, Kel. So you don't have to worry about the followers, the likes, the comments. You just post, and you just have it out there, and nobody can like your photo or your video that you're posting. It's just content for you.
Yeah, content for yourself. Interesting.
Exactly.
Huh.
So Canada, here's the question that we wanted to ask you today. Are you willing to pay for an ad-free social media account? Let us know right now. How do you feel about this? Hit us up on all our social media platforms. Right after the break, more news and weather.